Hey everybody, hope everybody's having a good night. Just wanted to come live and share something with you guys because it's something that I'm super passionate about and it's actually part of my impact. So something that I teach in boot camp, hey Kathy, hey Sarah, something that I teach, hey Amber, something that I teach in my boot camp is when I teach people to brand themselves in my free branding boot camp, you know, one of the things that I tell people is as I have them do their worksheets and provide them some feedback on their worksheets, one of the overall things that I keep telling people is you have to have an impact because oftentimes their impact, what they want to have is generic. So they say, you know, hey, I want to empower women. I want to teach and train women to make money from home. And that's a pretty generic, hey, Ashley, that's a pretty generic impact. So one of the things that I really try to get them to do is open their minds to, if you ever were able to make big money, what would you do to impact the lives of others? And so what are some causes that you love? What are some charities that you love? How can you find something that is near and dear to your heart and, you know, have an impact? So what I teach them is that since I teach them branding and my brand is Amy Orr Speaks, one of the things that I also teach them is your brand should be everywhere and your brand should be a representative of who you are and what you want your brand to stand for and what you want your impact to be. So at every job I've ever been to, I've always had a goal of leaving an impact. And I know that I've done that just from things that people have said. Now, did everybody like me and agree with my impact that I was making on others? No, not necessarily. Hi, Carol. But I always, you know, I knew at every job I was at what impact I was going to have on people and what was important to me for the right people to say about me once I left or once I exited that job. And so in my last job, which I had before I started to become an entrepreneur, I was a director for a youth program. So I had high school kids that were in poverty, and my job was to uplift them and teach them how to develop those skill sets to be ready for college. And so that is the big thing that I wanted to do, you know. And so I saw that this entrepreneur thing was going to work out. And instead of seeing the small picture, which was I would leave kids behind that needed me and depended on me, I saw the big picture, which is right now I just have an impact on them because I'm present, but I can't have a big impact on them because I don't have the funds. So I seen kids struggling, going to college because their parents didn't have the money to help them, couldn't help them in any way, shape, or form. And the only way to actually change situational or generational poverty, especially generational poverty, is to get the next generation to graduate from college and give them a skill set and have a certain level of degree so that they can change, you know, what's going to happen. And then most likely, most people that go to college, they teach and train their kids to go to college. So that's how you change generational poverty that goes from generation to generation to generation. So a lot of people were like, Amy, you built this awesome thing for 5 years and then you got up and left it. I said, but you guys don't understand. Like, my impact can be such, hey, Ashley, my impact can be so much bigger if I go out and I create the financial means to do these things and do other things for these kids. So the first thing that I decided to do when I decided I wanted to make an impact, even after I left, is I decided, even though I was ready to step out of that position and step into my full entrepreneur position, I decided to stay behind because what we had and what I ran was a federally funded program. So in order for that program to continue, I had to rewrite a grant, okay? And so I had to ask myself, financially, I can pick up and leave right now. But is that the impact I want to have, or do I want to stay and write this grant before I leave. And so this grant was a big deal, guys, because I have never written a government-funded grant before ever in my life. And this grant is a little over, it's close to $300,000 a year for 5 years. So you're talking about $1 million grant. I had no experience in writing this grant. But one of the things I always bring to all my jobs, in order to have an impact, when you bring something to the table, you have to go in full force with all your passion and everything. So, I gave everything to this project, and I decided I'm not leaving this until I write this grant. And it was a lot of grueling hours. The grant was, page after page after page, over 30 pages. And it was something that I did by myself. I had to gather data, and I had to put all this data together in a presentation so that the feds would look at it and decide whether they were going to fund us. A lot of weight was on my shoulders at the time because I carry a lot of weight that a lot of people don't carry because, again, I'm passionate about what I do. And so I told myself, if this doesn't get funded, then my kids don't have a program. If I can't write a good enough grant to get funded, then this program goes away. And these students don't have these resources anymore. They don't have a resource of someone who cares for them. They don't have a resource of someone who's giving them access to a summer program that's giving them the skills they need that maybe they're not getting at their high school, or skills that they're maybe not getting at home, so that they can come to college and have the confidence and the skills and the knowledge to be successful. So I wrote that grant before I left East Central University, and I said to my husband when I left, I said, I wrote this grant, but my impact is bigger than that, because when I reach a certain goal within my company, I'm actually going to start a foundation in my name for specifically that group of students within that program. So students that are in poverty that need some additional help. So it was always important to me to carry on my legacy even though I wasn't there. And so I was literally in the process of doing a live video, and I got a text message saying, Amy, they funded your grant. The grant that you wrote, it got funded. Hey, Pam. So phase 1 of my impact is done. I successfully wrote a grant that's over $1 million grant over the course of 5 years. And students are going to continue to get the services despite me not being there for the next 5 years. So the next phase of my impact for these students is to start my own foundation. And of course the foundation, thank you, Carol. Of course the foundation is going to be Amy Orr Speaks. It's going to be based on my brand, because if it wasn't for my brand and what I put forth, then I wouldn't be able to start a foundation. So just think about this. If you guys are coming in tonight and you're entrepreneurs, just think about what is near and dear to your heart and what is a big impact you want to have. And when someone says the name of, your brand, what do you want them to think about that? So I know Leslie's on here and she wants to help. Thanks, Amber. I know that Leslie's on here and she wants to help people that have suffered from cancer to get their hair back and get their confidence back. So she's rocking a super powerful impact, because your impact has to be bigger than the people inside your primary MLM organization. It has to be bigger than your organization, and it has to be bigger than your family and your friends. It has to impact a lot of other people. So just wanted to share that with you guys tonight. Just brought some tears of joy to my eyes, and just wanted to give you guys a little bit of things about me and just some inspiration for, if you're an entrepreneur, think about, thank you, Stacy. Just think about, ways in which your brand and who you are can have a global impact, can have an impact on all sorts of people, not just people in your organization, not just women, but people outside there. So think about worthy causes. My company donated $10,000 to the hurricane effort, and I made a personal donation as well. So you guys, it's all about giving back, and it's all about making that positive impact. And Just knowing that you're not going to impact everybody, but you're going to impact the people that God has called you to impact. And that's really how I feel about it, is that, thank you, Kathy. That's really how I feel about it. I won't impact everybody and I won't motivate and inspire everybody. In fact, maybe I don't inspire and motivate everybody, and maybe there are people that don't like me, but I've realized through this journey that it's about the people that you do motivate and inspire, and you cling to those people, and those are the people and those are the stories that keep you going. So just wanted to tell you guys that. I do just want to remind you guys, I do free coaching Friday for network marketers. I answer their network marketing questions. That happens on my page, Amy Orr Speaks, and just wanted to come on here, wish you guys a very good night, and stay tuned for more in my journey on my next phase of impact with my students and this program, because I look forward to sharing all my updates with you guys in hopes that this may inspire you to have a bigger impact as well. So love you guys, and I will hopefully see you on my coaching page, Amy Orr Speaks, and maybe answer some network marketing questions for you tomorrow. I think I'm going to go live tomorrow about 3 o'clock. So 3 p.m. Stay tuned. Bye, y'all.